Are we on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so.
There's no one on there yet.
Okay, well, if it's not working because I'm in Facebook jail again. But here we are at the Riverside Superior Courthouse. Antique looking building, historical building, I guess. And we'll find a shade spot. So what happened this morning was I put in my, back on September 5th, I believe was the date of raid number 4. I had an ex parte hearing to challenge their, to intervene on their bulk warrant. What happened that day was the Judge Raymer felt that I am not an interested party to the warrant because it doesn't have my name or property, and it has nobody's names or property. Here, go on the shade over here. It has nobody's names and nobody's property. So with that, it was denied. So I had to go back in again, and what today is to submit an intervention to the bulk warrant to prove that I am an interested party in it because they keep raiding my house with it and other people's homes. So the question of the validity, we still don't know. There's an upcoming date. But on the good side of things, the judge did grant my intervention. So that hearing will be probably about 3 to 4 weeks out, and it will be with the judge who signed off the warrant, which is Irma Ashbury, I believe is the name signed on that. So we will challenge the warrant. In the meantime, they might be raiding my house right now. I'm not sure because they like to raid it when I'm not home. So there's a good chance that they are raiding me. But I'm taking this a step further, and I just paid my fees today because I am going to seek ex parte a restraining order because I am sick of getting terrorized, and my children and my whole family are being terrorized for that matter. And I feel I need a restraining order for my safety. We still don't know who most of these people are. We do not know what credentials they have. We don't know their background. I still have a sheriff that's missing. I think he's okay though, because ironically enough, before Facebook Day, I did see him at his sheriff's picnic with a large bottle that looked to be Jack Daniels and a beer. So I don't know if he does hard shots and chases it with the beer. I'm not really sure. During that picnic, he made some wonderful statements about me too, and the reasons why he doesn't get back with me, but I'll address all that as soon as I get out of Facebook jail. I don't want to upset him too much.
Do you think he Ubers home?
Huh?
Do you think he Ubers home?
Oh, no, I'm sure he probably, 21352 Alpha Bravo, I'm pretty sure, but nobody's going to touch that guy. I mean, hell, even if you threw a dead sick chicken in the guy's backyard, they probably still wouldn't show up at his house. They just like to go after the elderly, the non-English speakers, the disabled, and the people that they know don't have money to fight this, and they don't have any knowledge of warrants, court procedures, or any of that. Another thing that people continue to mention about, oh, sue and get all this money. It doesn't work like that, and it's not that easy to do. So you have to go in steps. The first step to this was to challenge their bulk warrant, as I call it, the one that has nobody's name, nobody's address, and it's open-ended till December 31st. Now, everybody needs to really be saying some prayers pretty hard on this one. My temporary restraining order that I did pay, and it's going to be filed later on today or tomorrow, that temporary restraining order will be against the warrant, so it will protect all of you. So if they show up at your house with that warrant, everybody gets to be blanketed because that warrant will have the restraining order put on it. Now, the judge could grant that or he could deny it. So say your prayers that he grants it, because if so, then all of us are covered, at least until they go down to the court and get another one. The issue with that warrant that they're using, the 1822.59 warrant, the civil administrative warrant, they can still easily get one, but what they're going to have to do is follow the law, which is every 14 days, come on down here to Riverside Courthouse and get a new one. You do not get to run around town with one that you wrote in April and terrorize people's homes all over the county, cut gates, take their dogs, medically people passing out, hysterical. I mean, the whole thing of it is absurd. But you people need to understand the only way they can get onto your property is consent or warrant. Or, of course, if there's something exigent, meaning, let's say there's some crazy gunman running around your neighborhood and he jumped your wall and he's in your yard. Okay, they get to go find him. But for the purposes of what we're dealing with, which is your chickens or turkeys or parrots or parakeets or whatever you have, That is not an exigent circumstance. So consent or warrant. Up to now, they've been handing everybody the bulk one. So it's a very open-ended, no property description, nobody's name, no nothing. They just cruise on in. I did learn that the 2 pages that they are leaving to people was written by Caitlin McClune, which if you look on the upper left-hand side, you see the Attorney General, Javier Becerra, and she's right underneath him. She is, I believe, the Assistant Attorney General. So the 2-pager is the one that actually I prepared the 2-page document, because what I was unable to find was the actual affidavit. So what they did, or what the state vet did, Jones, the 37-page one that I did post, that is the application declaration that allegedly she wrote. Did she write that? I will guess probably not, because the state has a ton of money. So they probably just hired somebody to write it. She signed her name to it. How it was not recognized, that it was open-ended for that long, I honestly don't know. And I don't want to make assumptions, so I'm just not going to. But I have difficulty understanding how you can write any kind of a warrant that is open-ended for a 10-month window of time to any home within the county. That is outrageous. Just outrageous. And the eyes have no trespass. So if they bring their chippy buddies with them, and they bring in code, animal control, whoever they want to bring, goes with them, well, the eyes have no trespass. So you potentially could get cited for anything, for that matter. Maybe you have a unpermitted room, or bad plumbing, or faulty wiring, or too many dogs, or you didn't register your dogs, whatever. You can get tickets for whatever they want to give you tickets for. So today so far was, for the first time, a little bit of good. I got my intervention. Everybody else who has gotten this warrant, I had advised everybody not to try to intervene just yet, because it costs a lot of money to do this. So once, if it was granted in my favor, which it was, I am now an intervener to the bulk warrant. I will have to speak with the council to see if everybody else who got the warrant does need to join in at this point, or do we just wait? Because there's no need to spend extra money if it's not needed. The other thing, if you have had your birds killed, or your home raided, or your property damaged, or your dog taken, or you're suffering with PTSD or headaches, or anything, any kind of medical issue that could be related to the doings of CHP, Riverside County Sheriff's deputies, CDFA, USDA, and I'm not even searching who all the people are, so there could be some people that show up at these raids that are with some other entity. I do not know. But you need to understand there is forms that have to be filled out within a 6-month window. And I will give them to Allie, blank one, so she can post them. And that is a County of Riverside claim form, State of California claim form, and then you have your federal. So there's 3 different forms you have to fill out, and there is a time limit on them of 6 months. So if you've been wronged in some way, whether that, like I said, your birds are dead, did they not pay you the value of your birds? Because from what I understand, I haven't been paid anything for my birds, and there really isn't a dollar amount I can even place on them. But for instance, like we had the one gentleman had his bird fly off. It was a rare species. I do believe it's some kind of endangered bird. So if he paid, say, $5 grand, $8 grand for that bird, but then it took his time to raise it, feed it, care for it, medical treatment, etc., that bird is no longer now worth that $5 grand. It's now maybe worth 10 grand or 20 grand or whatever number that may be. I don't know a whole lot about fancy birds. I just understand that some of the pigeons and some of the birds people had killed were very, very pricey. And when I say pricey, I'm talking a couple $100 on up to thousands of dollars. And what they have done and what they state in the declaration is they will use a USDA calculator to determine fair market value. Well, I'm not really sure how they can determine that, because some of these people's pets, in addition to what they bought them for, spent to raise them, spent to house them, their time vested, and a lot of people, these were their pets, their babies. So there really isn't a dollar amount on that, and how much is sentimental value worth to you? I don't know. If you're losing sleep over it, and you are stressed, and you live in duress, and you can't think correctly, well then guess what? You now have a personal injury. So those forms, it is very, very, very important that people will need to fill them out and mail them in within that 6 months, because if you don't, you will lose your ability to go after civil litigation, meaning you'd sue them for damages, and the damages are very open-ended, from your property to, I mean, at this point, I've had all my birds killed, damage to the boat, damage to the hay trailer, damage to the horse trailer, and my big boy Buddy, that day when they came and slaughtered, I did have 2 horses limping, and I did treat them. They were running crazily, and I was not allowed to go back and secure them. And my one big walk-in horse, the limp has been there, and now it's kind of getting progressively worse. And the way that they were in my backyard that day with their nets and hitting my property and damaging and killing and doing all the just murder scene, the horrific, just that murder scene, I guess. But so I might have a horse that has a leg injury that will be need to be treated by a vet, obviously. I wouldn't call state vet, because obviously they don't care about animals, they just kill them off. And inhumanely, I may add. They can't even do it quickly and humanely. They do it very inhumanely to make sure you suffer. So under Cal Board of Veterinary Medicine, when it goes into, veterinarians are supposed to have care and compassion for the human owner. I didn't get that at all. I actually got people smirking, and they found some kind of sick humor slaughtering our pets. I find no humor in any of that. I think it's... I don't want to talk about that part because I'll get teary-eyed. But let's just keep on the good track. So today is a good day. I am now technically an intervener to the bulk warrant. The TRO, temporary restrainer, will go in, and it will blanket everybody if I get it. And that's going to be in the next day or so. And then once again, the hearing for that warrant is probably going to be about, I don't know, 3 to 6 weeks out. Don't know a date yet. We'll see. At that hearing, what I'm going to ask, because I know there's like 6,000 people on the page, probably 1,000 of you live somewhere else, probably 1,000 are CDFA stalkers, which why they stalk me I don't know. It's kind of creepy. I probably need to restrain against them too, creepers, or they just have no life, I don't know. But I know that there's a lot of good people too, and I know we have aliases on there because people are in fear, which we really shouldn't have to live in fear. This is America, but with this corruption, yeah, you got to live in fear. Because you can't trust any of them. They'll just give you tickets and raid your house and threaten you with jail. So, very interesting. But what you need to be aware of, though, is very important with this next upcoming date on this warrant. I hope many of you can come down, because personally, I would like to see the courtroom so packed with people that you can't even move your arms. The numbers. None of us are rich people. We already know that. So we don't have a ton of money to go hire the dream team to fix all this crap. So, power of numbers. And if you had your home raided, or your neighbor did, or your friend did, and you got an issue with it, well, you got to do something. Get your butt down there and do something. And that doesn't mean you have to go get attorneys for a lot of money. Mere support, and you need to be emailing these people.
So that part again, it interrupted. I accidentally pressed the button. Just for the emails.
Okay, the emails, the official emails. Email these people, and I don't care if you email them 15 times a day, to let them know that you are disgusted with their behavior, you don't approve of it, or whatever your thoughts may be. And you know what? I guess if you're one of the 1,000 stalker CDFA people and you're happy, well, email them that too, I guess. But you need to put the pressure on the officials, because none of us have a ton of money. None of us are well connected, so they don't really care. We're just the little people. Pay your bills and don't talk, don't ask questions. Just pay your bills and go away. We'll do what we want to do. We're here to help, said no one ever. But that's what you guys need to understand. So it's very important that you continue to email these people. And even, I mean, I don't care if you get up in the middle of the night and you have, your brain just saw one of the videos of the birds getting killed and now you can't sleep. Good. Email them and tell them that. Express your opinions and your concerns and your thoughts, because these people are made a ton of money, a ton, to protect you and be there for your best interests. And in my opinion, my best interest has not been looked at all. If anything, I've been terrorized, and so have my family. So nobody was out for my best interest. And the update on my tickets, if you have a ticket, again, go to the court. Doesn't matter if it's in the system, go on your honor before day, because you will get, well, you likely will get an FTA, which is a failure to appear. So you need to go down there and get something in writing. I did do that. My ticket was not in the system. And then it appeared. It appeared in the system about a couple days ago. And I did get a little a letter that basically says my new date is in mid-November. So I have to go back in mid-November. So I would just get the extension for the ticket. Let's get the warrant handled, and we'll deal with the tickets as we go. But you can't get the extension. Just make sure you show up and get something in your hand. Otherwise, FTA, no good. They will and can pull you over, tow your car,
it's hot. I mean, it's sunny
take your
right here.
kids, whatever. It will be very, very bad. FTAs are not good. And my guess is they'll do it on a Friday at like 3. So the little druggy buggy that usually leaves to court every morning doesn't go till Monday. So you get to sit there all weekend. They aren't going to put you in a nice cell. They're going to put you in the grossest one because you've upset the government. That's just how they roll. It's county love. County love is what they call that. So is there any questions on there?
Yeah, so KK said a separate judge should have to oversee because Irma has a conflict of interest. What do you think about that?
We have no say over who the judges are. If you get let's say, okay, in theory, you get your whatever judge you get assigned to. And let's say you don't agree with their decision or you think they're not being fair or whatever, you can request what's called a judicial review, which is basically another set of judges to look over what that judge did. So does that really go anywhere? Well, in theory, it's supposed to, but do I really believe in it? No, not really. If you do not agree with a judge, your next legal step is your appellate courts. I have testified at appellate court hearings before, and that's a panel, at least when I testified, there was 5 judges, and basically it's the same thing as a regular court hearing, but you have 5 different judges. So 3 out of 5 yays win, basically, or that's how they decide. How fair are those? Well, no comment. I'm not seeing a lot of fairness on a lot of things, so I don't want to, just no comment. That's my comment, no comment. But that would be the next step. So you don't really get the liberty to say, well, I don't like that judge, so I want a new one. They don't do that. You get who you get, and if you do not agree with their decision, you either have appellate or you can request the judicial review. So it's just hope that they're honest and fair. That's all you can do.
All right, and then the day you want a lot of people to fill the courtroom, they want to know if you're going to give the date and time and all that stuff.
Of course, yeah,
Yes.
As soon as I get it.
Well,
What will happen
it'll be
next
posted.
is the temporary, I'm seeking a temporary restraining order on behalf of basically everybody, because I don't like being terrorized, and I'm kind of guessing my fellow citizens don't like it much either. Kind of sucks. So I am seeking that. But the temporary restraining order, if I get it, will be handled on the same day that I have with the judge that signed the bulk warrant. So it will be looked at that day. Now keep in mind, all these people have to do is go down here and put in a new application, but it has to be done every 14 days to make that type of warrant be valid. So that 1822, I can't post anything because again, I'm in Facebook jail. I'm always in Facebook jail, but I will give Allie the pursuant codes. So you need to read those and understand them, because the way the code is written and pursuant to the code, you are supposed to be renewing that every 14 days if needed. There is huge questions on the property description. In her 37-page declaration, she's got her little maps and her Sharpie things that she just scribbles around on. How did that work? I don't know. I've written a lot of warrants, and that would have never worked out. I do have some friends at the DA's office who are also helping me look into this, because everybody's pretty puzzled as how can this be? People that have wrote warrants like for a lot of years, people that actually do write warrants daily for the DA's office that I know, just say I know them, and I have them looking into it, and nobody can figure out how in the heck that they even could pull such a crazy warrant like that with nothing. But they did, and they are. I'm living proof, and I got 2 tickets out of it, so do other people. So they're doing it, and that's where you got to call them on it. But they don't like it when you call them, so I'm fairly certain when I go home today, I'll probably have, I don't know, they might be waiting for me at my house. I don't know. I had to shut the phone off so my alarms didn't ring, because I literally am like a panic attack every time the thing rings or I hear my dogs bark, because I'm not sure if they're coming to raid my house. I don't know if it's bad guys or good guys, but they're all kind of bad guys, so I don't really know. I just sit with like paranoia, not really sure what's happening. And the dumbest part, I'm not even a criminal. I didn't do anything wrong. I have 2 tickets. But okay, we'll play. We're in. Committed people. Do you see any other?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
But I'll be posting everything Carrie wants me to post for her. So I think that's it, guys.
Yeah, and
That's
if
it.
you want, yeah, and those forms, people need to make sure they get them in within your 6-month window. If you were prior, say you didn't know about these forms, which I'm guessing a lot of people don't even know they exist. If you were prior and now your 6-month window's up, you can still submit them. There's certain exceptions that you can get them pushed through, and I would definitely try. It doesn't hurt to try, because where you sit now with your property damaged, living in duress, your animals, some dead, some not, injured, or whatever they did to you. I know one flew off, a couple flew off, whatever. I would put them in anyway, because they shouldn't be getting away with this kind of crap. It's pretty outrageous, and unless somebody does something, they're going to keep doing it. And I honestly don't know what anybody...
There we go.
Okay, 2350 Mulberry, roll by there if you want to. You can see they're still very active. That building contract, we already posted those, goes up till July 2020. So I think the other, I don't know, the weird, I don't know, the other people that seem to think CDFA is out to help them, which good luck with that. But everybody, oh, well, they're doing happy testing, or what do they call it, free test, I don't know, some stupid name they said. Whatever, let them in your house then if you're cool with it. That works for me. But I don't think that testing, I'm going to say that's more surveying and taking inventory is what I foresee them doing. Now, what are they going to be doing here till July of 2020? I don't know. Call them and ask them. Go to 2350 Mulberry, sign in at the front, and go ask them and say, why are you here till then? They will probably tell you for, I don't know, testing or job security. Who knows what they'll tell you. But you certainly have the right to ask. I would. I don't have any more birds. I probably will never have more birds. So the bird part doesn't apply to me. Maybe they'll come after the dogs and horses. I don't know. Never know. They might. You never know, because those, obviously they carried on their feet, was what the one idiot told me.
Well, plus the warrant said
well, the
any
first
animals.
One it says inspect and destroy any animal. So what is any animal? When I asked Evil Chad about it, and he looked back at the video, he didn't seem to know what any animal really meant either. Actually, he said he didn't know anything about the warrant, but yet it's really funny because on the affidavit, he's the idiot who wrote it. So does he not know what he's writing? Somebody wrote any and all animal. So when I asked him about that, he said he said it was for poultry. And I said, well, why did you put that in your warrant? And then he gave me this blank look like he's an idiot, which he is, like he didn't know. And then he tried to say that he didn't put that. Oh, yes, you did. And I'll repost that too. It's in the album that's in there. So the dumbass signs his name to the warrant, writes the affidavit, and doesn't even know what he put? Wow. Talk about the stupid there. It runs deep with these people, really deep. Nobody knows what they're doing, and they lie, so good luck with that one. But if you guys have any questions, I'm in Facebook jail. I can't even log in under another Facebook name. It already turned that off. The VPN secured line, well, that didn't work either. I think they tracked me or something, or they bugged me. I don't know, my car, I'm not sure, something. So I'm on in Facebook jail to the 25th, which oddly enough, that's my birthday. I'm turning 21.
Yay!
Not really 21, but it is my birthday, so I guess that's my birthday present to get out of Facebook jail, but we'll throw you back in later that day probably. I don't know. Hopefully I'll be somewhere doing something and not be dealing with all this, because it's very time consuming. My house is filthy. My kids, just all of it. It's too much. It's way too much. So off we go today, and Allie will post all this stuff, and if somebody needs help with the forms, I don't know if my messenger's working. It might or might not be. Sometimes when they shut me off, they shut that off too. So you'll have to message Allie or Gina, speak Spanish. She can help with that. But message one of the girls, so that if you need help with those forms, you get them in. Very important you get them in, because you lose your window to go after them civilly. And would I like to go after them civilly? Yeah, I kind of do. At first, I really didn't want to. I was actually pretty darn happy to just see some people fired, and that would have been good enough. But that actually still would be good enough. But they won't fire them. They're well too protected and connected, and then they'd sue the state. So it is what it is. But I'm still sitting here figuring out how I'm supposed to pay for all the damages they did to my house that I'm stuck with, and my dead pets that suffered a lot that day. So anyway, signing off for now. We got to go pick up kids. I know she's got to get her kids. I got to get my kids, and off to a happy Monday. But it is better than what I expected it to go, because I was thinking they were going to deny it, and if they would have denied my intervention, that would have cost me another $450 filing fee. So now I'm in the hole at $6,300 now is my bill for killing my pets. Oh, and the vet bill. So let's check on the vet bill. And my gas, oh God, I'm probably closer to around maybe I'd say about 10 grand in damages, actually, because where they gouge the boat, it's deep. You have to actually buff the fiberglass because the boat's old. It won't match. Scratches on the horse trailer. Part of that has to be repainted. So yeah, I'm in the hole quite a bit of money over this. And my birds are dead. Oh, and tickets. I forgot I got tickets too.
Yep.
And I don't even know the price of those. Well, who knows? According to their code of violations for the one I got, which is the 9700, they can charge civil, administrative, and then some kind of a penalty. But the really big one that could get really, really big is all the officers, all the manpower use. So when they sent all the chippies to my house, yeah, that lieutenant and whoever else at overtime, that guy's probably like $500 an hour overtime. So I get to pay for all the idiots that were at my house that day, all of them, and their cars, probably their gas bill. I don't know, they'll throw in some mileage. And again, I'm not really sure, because I called from a recorded line the state director and asked to please call me and make an appointment if you would like to come into my home, because after the third raid, I'm getting a little sick of having my gates all cut, and I don't even have any birds. They got helicopters that hover, so I don't even have birds. They know that. So I think that was a bit unnecessary, considering I had, I think, like 12, 15, I don't know, a bunch of them at my house, and you got me in my pajamas and flip-flops. So anyway, that is interesting. So they can bill you for all the time. And I'll post the code. You guys can look at it. So who knows what those tickets will be. I don't know. Make them, what's her button or sharp? You'll probably just draw it, I don't know, write in whatever number she wants. Hell, at this point, they'll probably, I don't know, probably put a lien on the house. But I would like to sell my house, so maybe they can just buy it from me, and then Jones can live there, and everybody can go visit her, and then she can live at the house everybody thinks is a drug house. Because I still get people, yes, driving by and asking if it was a drug house. Was there a drug raid? Like, no, I don't do drugs. But yeah, I did have a murder, so it sort of is a murder scene. So if Miss Jones wants to buy my house, it's for sale. She can come. We can do it. We don't have to do a broker either, real estate. I'll save her some money. She can live there and let them terrorize her. And she can live in the drug murder home. See how she likes it. It's super fun. So anyway, we good?
Yep.
And if there's any other questions, I'll have to get back with you. Facebook jail again. Not surprising. And I don't know. I think I'm just going to be a habitual offender.
Bye, guys.
That's just life.
Thanks for watching.